2021 has been the rise of some of these teams around the Oceanic region, the rise of upcoming teams towards the top. Well, it's also a year of history, it seems. We've already got Invisible Ninja taking RLCS, and now we are guaranteed a brand new team to win here in the RLO Masters event number 4 of January. Max, this is a history about to be made. Neither of these teams have won a grand final yet.
History is about to be made, but it also feels so fitting with how 2021 has been going thus far. Solicit, they rose early, catching a lot of teams by surprise, and then late, it did become the rise of the Ninjas as well. So, of course, these would be the two teams that meet in this final team process as well. They had their deep run. They almost had their mark. You could say the same thing about Direwolves and their kind of rise, but I think this month, at least in terms of the RLO Masters, has been best defined by both Solicit as well as the Attack of the Invisible Ninja in terms of the surprising performances, and I'm really excited to see who's going to rise to this occasion right now.
Well, even Direwolves have risen up from the crop too, so last time Solicit were in a Game 7 overtime against Direwolves, and I was really cheering for Solicit to get their first win. Direwolves, they'd already had a win in the RLO Masters. They didn't need another one. It was time for a new team. Now they get their second chance, Solicit, but the way things have been going so well here for Invisible Ninja, it is going to be very difficult, and this is going to be the final match. Just as a note, in terms of how Solicit got here, they did end up getting a 0-second goal over the top of ground zero to take the win. They were tied up all the way to the final second, get it in Game 5, and secure their grand final number 2. They've done it both times at this point over the top of ground zero.
Yeah, it's definitely been a hard road for Solicit, playing 10 out of the maximum 10 games that you can to get here, where Attack of the Invisible Ninja, I think they've been a lot more dominant in their performances. Yeah, they had that slow start against Cringe Society, but overlooking that one game, 3-0 over the Direwolves, which is a pretty statement of a series, 3-1 over Cringe Society, with 3 games being relatively cruisy in that regards as well. Ninjas are looking on form compared to Solicit, who they're pulling off those upsets, they're making it dramatic, but will they be able to close the deal in a best of 7 instead of a best of 5?
It's still funny to think that Invisible Ninja are coming into the grand final as the favorite. They've been in a couple of grand finals now, and typically got pretty well beaten in those by a couple of the top teams from around the region, including Direwolves, taking them down earlier on in, I think it was even October, in that really early event. Now that they have a position where they're in the dominant, they're the favorites, and I feel like they've never even been the favorites in any series, let alone a grand final.
I mean, you could make the argument that they haven't even been a favorite in any of the playoff series tonight. Granted, I probably would have given them the edge against Cringe Society, but it was a pretty close edge. Like, I wouldn't have been surprised to see that one go either way, but the final should be their best matchup against Solicit, yet I don't want to overlook Solicit as well. Like, they already have one final appearance. They're going to be finishing the higher seed no matter what happens in this matchup. It's kind of odd to call the team that's ahead in the standings to be the underdog.
Well, Solicit got a second place. They've also consistently done well, except for they got 9th place, but they had a substitute for that week. They've shown they've been really good, but Attack of the Invisible Ninja, they're about to begin almost a dynasty at this point, because you got to remember the fact that they won against Cringe Society here means that they also took down Direwolves and Ground Zero on the weekend. Cringe Society with the other question, like, would they be able to take them down? They took down Mind Freak as well, in that maybe 5th spot. And I guess the only other question left is Invisible Ninja versus Renegades, and that may not even be possible if Renegades don't make it into the monthly final.
Yeah, if Renegades, I mean, they're in that precipice of being knocked out. They're going to have to step up either against Mind Freak or against Forbidden moving forward. So a lot of questions to be answered there. That's probably going to happen over the weekend. The big question right now, though, is which of these two teams is going to find that big historic RLO Masters victory. They're jumping on the pitch. We're going to be doing the same shortly. Champions Field during the day. Kind of off-putting when you also see it's nighttime out my window. Either way, we're kicking off. We are just testing things out, and soon we will be moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, it just takes a little bit of time to get in there. You're jumping the gun.
I'm keen.
You're not even the host tonight, Formal, and you're like, let's get in the game. Listen, I'm the captain now, and let's get into the game. The grand final of RLO Masters is right at the doorstep. It is time to get underway, and it is time to crown a new champion of the RLO Masters.
All right, I mean, be honest with me. How much did you bribe high? How much do I need to up that bribe by to get the
I
ship
wasn't
back?
even in the game, so I don't know why you're calling ready. It's up to me, man. I'm ready to go, but listen, so are these guys. Obviously, Solicit got to have a high after just taking down... I was just seeing Snowy go with us. Just taking down Ground Zero in a tough Game 5. Invisible Ninja coming just incredibly strong. And already Argy-bargy all around the pitch.
Yeah, and you would think normally that would benefit a team like Ninja. And in fact, they're going to be the first one putting some shots on target. Snowy gets that big save, going back the other way. I'm going to be so curious to see how Solicit actually opts to attack this Ninja side. In the past, I've kind of associated Solicit to sort of strong rotations and very minimal unforced errors, mixed with sometimes some pretty strong individual plays from either Vortex or Tango. I'm not sure how that will work against the defense of this Ninja side if they're continuing to play on point, but I guess that's something we'll learn as the series progresses.
They also tend to have a strong challenge game that shuts down opponents, and maybe Invisible Ninja will struggle a little bit against that style, especially if Tango has a shot, but he's missed. It was wide open, a way to start the grand final off strong, and a missed opportunity here for Solicit.
And it came from that challenge you were talking about. Snowy did a fantastic job with that 50 to put the ball in a near perfect spot, and in a grand final, those are the shots that you cannot afford to miss, especially with how Ninja did look in that semifinal. That said, it has been a slower start for this Ninja side. They haven't been able to really find their own attacking half just yet, and Tango, with a nice play off his own backboard, it starts to look the other way.
Well, the nice thing to note for Solicit is they're stopping this counterplay defensive passing that often comes out from Cringe Society. That's why they've been pinned in to defense so long. They rely on that. They've been slowing the ball down a lot like they did early on against Cringe Society too. Vortex looking for a double. Walcott has to dive for the save. It's gone nice and high and made difficult for the defense as well, especially with Snowy go for bumps, but Invisible Ninja always survives.
That they do, and even when they're pushing forward, they are still keeping one member so far back just to stop any sort of counterattack that might come against them. Walcott right now, that was actually a little bit of an awkward touch, is able to recover it, and finds a good touch to get to the backboard. Spidos won't take this opportunity to strike just yet, but after a kind of a slower start, we can see the Ninjas starting to increase the pace a bit when on defense.
They're at peace as well with their playstyle at the moment, but they need to be getting out of defense. They need to up it a little bit here. 2 minutes left, and it has been one-way traffic, all going the way of Solicit for this game.
It certainly feels that way as Vortex tries to find something across the middle. Walcott, though, will be able to play off that backboard. Snowy still looking for those challenges, still trying to play middle of the field, yet Leduc gets one of those booming clears, and now we get to see Ninja perhaps a little bit more in their element, yet Vortex quickly shuts it down, and something you don't normally see, a breakaway perhaps against the Ninja. Spidos, though, was able to get back in time.
Once again, always ready for the challenge, Solicit, and another one from Snowy. It also leads them to get very good intercepts. It's a breakaway once again for Vortex, and once again a miss in front of the net. They just can't go in to the Invisible Ninja defense. I don't know what they've done to make it that nobody can score against them.
Just the inability to finish plays coming back to haunt yet another team. It feels like this scoreline shouldn't be 0-0. I feel like it should be 2-0 in favor of Solicit, yet the Ninja find a way to stay in this game. And as we approach this final minute right now, all they need is one big breakaway, and all of that offensive pressure coming from Solicit will be for naught.
I just want to know who they're praying to, because I'm on that religion train at the moment, and they always get one that's just a cheeky goal. But you got to remember, Invisible Ninja, ground zero in the semi-finals of RLCS, in the grand final, Direwolves, and now against Cringe Society, and in this one, Solicit, every single time the crossbar's coming clutch, and what a carry from Spydoge.
Yeah, you also have to give credit to his lead blocker in Walcott right there. A big demo meant Spydoge had all of the net to work with, and there is that demo play. There is that counterattack play, and no answer from Solicit this time around. A 1-0 lead, despite being on the back foot for the first 4.5 minutes.
It has been struggle town for Solicit. I hate to see this. I am a big fan of Solicit, or at least their story and how they've managed to come top 8, how they've really started to take it seriously at the end of last year and shown dividends in the work that they've put in. And they just haven't been able to find that missing piece here in game 1 with their striking. They should get one in here, but saved out. Invisible Ninja, another one off the post, another one off the crossbar. They can't get it in. And Invisible Ninja. Oh my goodness, hearts must be racing as they just hold on to that game.
You gotta be pulling your hair out watching so many shots get so close and nothing able to get through that net. The Ninja, I mean, yes, they win that game, and if you look at the shot differential, it was only 9-5, yet that really didn't feel like how the game was being played out. Solicit so many chances. If that ball is just hit a little softer, just underneath that crossbar, perhaps we're looking at a 3-1, maybe even a 4-1 game, but unable to get those waning touches, to be able to finish those shots. And again, the Ninja, their defense, when they need it most, they will get those touches. When they don't need it or they're beaten, the crossbar will bail them out. Somehow they take game number 1.
I just don't understand it. What is it? Is it pig's blood? I don't know what to smear on my posts in ranked to have this same level of magic that they continually have, series after series. But they do also have a lot of grit. Invisible Ninja. They always fight for it. They always fight in defense. They're always diving. They're always ready to go and make a play their own, and then they're ready to get the demos themselves. In the end, they don't have to worry about how they've taken some of these victories. It is up to Solicit to figure out that striking opportunity, to figure out how to win.
I feel like Solicit doesn't need to change too much from their game strategy moving into this. They just got to finish those shots. They outshot their opponents. They had those opportunities. If it just goes under the crossbar, they win that game. So stick to your game plan. Stick to your guns if you're Solicit. You'll get more opportunities with the way you've been playing, although off of this kickoff, it does look initially to be in Ninja's favor. Leduc does enough to buy Spydoge time, yet Tango stepping forward to challenge, and I like to see that. Solicit still willing to challenge, although this time they might get beat. The redirect off the double will be saved by Snowy.
My potential problem with...
Oh,
that's painful.
I see a bigger problem.
See it.
That's a bigger problem.
Well, Invisible Ninja, again. How do I get this magic? How do I make it so that when I hit the corner, it's going to float into the net every single time? Just tell me, what's the secret?
I think you have the duck threatening to invade Rust face and Walcott.
It's just every single bounce, it just goes in the net every single time. Is it going towards that net because it likes to stay away from the Invisible Ninja net? At this point in time, it just defies all logic that this keeps happening.
I mean, have they found Sunless Cons, like auto-aim mod? Is that what's going on here? It's so confusing, but I do agree. Every touch just in favor of this Ninja team right now, and if luck is on your side, or if you have the skill to make luck appear on your side, you can go far. The best teams are always that little bit lucky, and right now, Ninja, they are taking advantage of every bounce, every break going their way, and it really feels like Solicit have such a tougher ask. Another shot on target, the bump, yet Leduc is still in position to make that save.
The thing I was going to talk about earlier is Solicit playing the same game plan. The first game, the way they play it, early challenges, was always going to catch Invisible Ninja off guard. And if they take advantage of that, get the first goal, then you sow the seed of doubt in Invisible Ninja. But the fact that that didn't work out, and Invisible Ninja now knows this challenge-heavy game plan, they've got every right to be able to outplay that, to be able to figure out what's going on and make sure that that doesn't catch them off guard. So I do worry about sticking to that same game plan.
Well,
It's again off the post, by the way.
Yep, another one off the post. I mean, we'll see at this stage. It really hasn't appeared like Ninja has had to react to that game plan. Another post backboard, and there's the clear straight down the middle. No power behind it, so we won't see the goal. But how many times can you hit the post in one game?
Somebody call Shiest. I don't know what's going on. Is it performance-enhancing drugs? Is it a special relationship with Shiest and the development team? Who knows? But everybody's hitting the crossbar here. I'm not going to blame Solicit at this point because everybody manages to hit the crossbar these days.
That is magnets in the ball. That's what I'm going to go with. They got him the wrong way, you know. It's just tracking him right into that crossbar, bouncing off each and every time. Tango with a chance. It's off the backboard, sets up Snowy, who can't quite wrap it around, and Vortex puts it right in Snowy's butt. Tango will get into that backboard. Vortex tries to follow through, but it winds up in the corner.
At this point, Solicit need to start a circus. Nothing can go right for them that time. Snowy accidentally saving it. It's almost in. Spino shakes to say, just give it one. Just one, please, for Solicit. They deserve one goal. No! No! Oh, you cannot be. You gotta be kidding me. You cannot believe this. How does it keep on happening?
Yummy, ask and you shall receive. There's their one goal right there. Put in on their own net. I mean, look, if Solicit can find a way to bounce back from these first two games and even find one game win, that will tell me they have the mental fortitude to do great things. But this game has been an absolute disaster for them, and I don't know how you bounce back from this.
Imagine being ground zero right now watching this and being like, man, I feel like we could have done a much better job, but I don't know if anybody could stand up to this on the sheer chaos that is happening throughout these games.
Crossbar.
It's very
there it is!
Let's go, Solicit. Let's go, Tango. He made sure to really put that dead center of the net.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't going to get much more open than that. He really had to put it through. There was a little bit of the time constraint. Defense was wrapping around, but finally Solicit get on the board. 2-goal difference, 90 seconds. It can happen, and if they can build off that momentum, maybe, but another kickoff going against them. Walcott nearly gets underneath the ball for the strike.
Walcott's dribbles have certainly stepped up over the last 6 months. It's been fantastic to see him really shining, not just in that aspect, but as a member of this roster. And now that Solicit have got past that first goal curse, maybe we'll see something. That one is a bit of a post too, but also a very awkward angle for Vortex to be able to get the right touch on. And 53 seconds left here. Difficult situation given Invisible Ninja's defensive strategies. Walcott just gets the save. Very nicely done.
Whew, that was a big time save from Walcott right there. An absolute strike, and I kind of feel like if that one had been put up in one of the corners of the net, it would have been an easier time, but that shot was a little bit straight, so it did give Walcott the earnest to make that save. Now, a little bit of a counterattack opportunity for the Ninja. They're not going to find too much yet. Snowy tries to throw it across the middle. Walcott has the read, does enough to stop Vortex, and Spydoch underneath won't be able to find that strike yet. The time is ticking away, 15 seconds, and it's now a 3-goal lead.
Oh, the duck, still the thorn. Yeah, you're just going to have to call him Lathorn at this point. Spydoch hits that straight out. Why is Leduc in that exact position? Nobody knows, but it's the perfect position to be able to get a goal there.
And that will end game number 2. A game that I'm sure Solicit is going to want to forget relatively quickly as... Yeah.
Called that a little bit early, did you?
I didn't say a scoreline, I just said the game was done. And this further emphasizes my point.
That concludes it. We got to wait another 20 seconds for the next 3 goals to go in and see all the replays.
Do we see the 7-1 scoreline then? Like, I mean, it would be fitting.
I don't know. I don't want to see it. I just want to get to the next game. And I think Solicit do as well. Vortex was saying in chat that he's having a few drops in frames, so let's say that's the reason that it's been hitting the crossbar. It's the frame drops. It's Vortex's computer. That's the problem here. Not voodoo magic like we've been talking about.
I mean, it's a pretty impressive computer if it's affecting, some of Tango's shots as well. But it is what it is. Perhaps he's loaning his computer to Tango, and that's sort of what he was going at right there. Either way, Solicit did get that one goal, and their one goal was nice, but for the most part, that definitely is a game that if you're a fan of Solicit or if you're playing for Solicit right now, you've got to do that full mental reset after that one, because those first 3.5 minutes were rough to watch.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know what to talk about this game. Honestly, there's nothing that I can say that chat can't say better anyway, right? It brings a tear to the eye. Pico CE, definitely correct statement right there. It was an interesting game. I've not seen anything like it, realistically, in the history of Rocket League. It is history. We said history was going to be made. I thought in a very different way than what we saw in that one.
Well, there's still plenty of time for more history to be made, though. That was only game 2, and with this best of 7, there is time for Solicit to bounce back.
Please stop. No more history. Let's just go back to regular Rocket League, regular, every day, no history. Just keep it simple, and Solicit, please hit some shots.
I mean, the more I think about that game, too, the more of a shocker it is, because Solicit, normally, they're so consistent in terms of not making those types of mistakes. I feel like they're one of the more sturdy teams. Like, that game kind of came from out of nowhere, and I wonder if pressure, I know that's sort of a cop-out response, but I wonder if pressure actually is starting to affect them a bit, because that felt so unlike that team. You have to think something is at play, be it frame drops or, something mental, perhaps.
Oh, it's the big grand final. There is a hurdle there for sure. They've already made that second place in the past. They've already had that pressure off. Now, the only thing that they have left to do is get the grand final win. And, well, that's going to be difficult right now, being 2 games down, but they have got a best of 7, so a chance to come back, but Walcott doesn't want that to happen.
Off of the demo from Spydoge as well. This is pretty standard attack of the Invisible Ninja right here. Nice play on the Vortex, and Walcott, with half of the net to work with, will be able to put it through a 1-0 lead as the Ninjas keep throwing those shurikens through.
I'm worried as well, because that's the attack from Invisible Ninja that we haven't even seen throughout the series, realistically. Last game was largely kickoff goals and interesting bounces that came out from them. Now they're starting to really develop their own attack once again. Get some openings in the net, get some good demos.
Rule 1.
And it may just be a matter of time.
Rule 1 with Leduc, I believe, and he is stuck currently against Tango. So, more history being made, Yummy. It's a Rule 1 in a grand final.
Oh, you don't see that too often. I don't know if that's history. I don't really keep a good track of all the Rule 1s in RLCS and Rocket League history. It's good to see it after Duck did break one before in order to make a play and maybe get a goal himself. Spydoge holds it out, and Spydoge and Walcott are a definite twos duo that you see a lot, and the same with Vortex and Snowy, who have been together a long time. Spydoge, probably the best twos player in this lobby.
Yeah, finally it will get broken up, and that was actually Tango who sort of freed the team. Actually, it looked like, I'm not sure who bumped it. Was that Spydoge who got the bump onto Tango? I'm not sure. Either way, Tango straight back onto the attack. Does get to the backboard, but Spydoge will make the read.
It's got to be some kind of recognition that Spydoge is going to be deadly in the 2v2 as well. Probably didn't want to keep that for too long, whoever bumped that one out. So now a chance for Solicit. Not a goal just yet. Even still, attack continues, but seems so chill at the moment for Invisible Ninja.
Yeah, I mean, any game compared to the last one, I feel like it's going to be a bit more chill in comparison, but as it stands, I mean, Ninjas, they're still finding a bit more opportunities. They are leading that shot count after the first 2 minutes, but as it stands, we're a back-and-forth gameplay being set up, and actually, this could be dangerous for Solicit. Walcott unable to drive it through the defense, so Spydo's already there, gets bumped off a play by Vortex, yet Leduc nearly found something. Walcott now will beat out Snowy, and that's going to be the 2-0 lead.
And there was a bit of a fake there from Spydoge as well. Walcott used him as cover, because it looks like Spydoge is coming in to touch it. That's why Snowy ended up going a little bit to the left of, or his left of the ball, to try and cover Spydoge's shot, and Walcott, no fear, comes on in.
And with the 2-0 lead, what we've seen from Solicit thus far it feels a lot more than perhaps what it actually is. We still kind of need to see Solicit really establish their own attack. Those challenges that we saw in game number 1 that were effective definitely has dissipated by the time we've hit game 3. So they are trying to mix up their style, but haven't found the success in it just yet. That's a nice bump. Unfortunately, no quick follow for them.
And counter would be impossible, but actually Vortex's disappearance, his demo on him, allowed him to spawn back in time to be able to take that play away. So that could have been 3-0. Sometimes the demos when you're in defense can cost you on that counter attack, but another counter attack opportunity. Leduc screams it high. Snowy now. Chance at the other end, but Leduc will take it away. And saying Leduc's name a lot, he has been very involved in the play.
Especially in comparison from what we saw from him in the semifinals, Leduc getting a lot more involved, and we're really seeing it throw Solicit off at sometimes, although this could be a good chance. That's a very open net. Snowy will put it straight through, and back within 1 is to the Solicit side.
A bit of confusion there from Leduc at the same time. He didn't see that Snowy was underneath that ball. He was originally looking to go up for an aerial, maybe challenge the play, but Snowy gets a free dribble, and then they've bring themselves back with a chance. They have the opportunity now to get back in contention, but they need to really work out. I think if they lose this game, it's going to be very difficult to take down Invisible Ninjas in a reverse sweep.
I'm also concerned, Yummy, if we were the cause of Leduc getting confused right there. If that was a little bit of the caster curse, did we sort of jinx him in that situation? Because he had been playing so well being in that right spot up into that point. As we do see Spydoge push it forward, but can't get it past Snowy.
Walcott has continued to just be looking for good striking opportunities. It hasn't gone their way just yet, and Spydoge a miss. Oh, a pre-jump for Tango off Snowy's touch does not do them any favors. If he'd played that a little bit more patient, maybe knew what Snowy was going to do there, it could have been a goal, or at least a continuation of. Tango should be hitting the backboard, goes for the demo! No! It goes off the post, that's Snowy! Oh, that's how you deal with it. He follows up off the post and gets it in.
Yeah, being able to read the post, I think it's probably the best skill Solicit could have in this one. Somehow even getting around Leduc, who had the head start on that play in order to just sneak it around, tie this game up, and for the first time this series, it feels like Solicit are giving themselves a proper chance to take a game. 40 seconds remaining. Next goal most likely wins this game, and Solicit needs it so badly.
And they've got 2 goals in a row. The signs are there for Solicit to be able to get themselves back into the grand final, back into contention, back into the history books potentially, as Spydoge looking to make some magic and almost goes in his own net. Tango, there's already been 1 own goal for Solicit in this series, and now it's bounced the other way. A charge all the way to the other end, and Leduc just gets back in time.
Still 10 seconds in regulation, and it does mean the Ninjas have a chance. That goes the distance. Tango gets behind it, but the Ninjas are already there. Nice touch from Vortex will crack this offense, and Tango has a dribble play, gets it over the top of Walcott, but gets demoed. Spydoge will keep it in the corner. Ball spiked down, it hits the ground, and we have overtime.
Important overtime, important game 3, and so crucial here for Solicit in particular. They are going to be left on the defense right off the kickoff and not in a position to score, but now it's Tango on the counter, a potential chance as Solicit trying to secure an early lead or an early game. Just so that they can stay in the series.
Walcott went straight to his backboard off of that kickoff. He was not going to allow any counterattack to happen, but now everyone's kind of playing off the backboard as Solicit tried to create a chance. It's going to go the other way. Leduc pressed forward, has boost, has the reset, gets the bump, but Tango's able to wrap behind and make that save. Vortex going the other way. Walcott puts it in his own net, and Solicit take game number 3.
I don't think Walcott had any boost left. No, he had plenty of boost left. He just wasn't there in position. Just got himself too much in front of the ball. He can't make the save, and the curse goes both ways. Solicit get 1 game on the board.
This is some grand final Rocket League we are witnessing right here, I feel like.
This is an OCE grand final if I've ever seen one.
I mean, you know what? You have to give Solicit credit where it's due in this situation. After that disastrous game 2, they do come back and win game 3 in overtime, and now it feels like we have that series once again. I'd argue momentum probably still in favor of the Ninjas, but just to have that mental bounce back. Maybe the frames were the issue, but Solicit they're back in the series.
It was maybe even just a bit of a break that got it. You need a break after that second. I needed a break after that second game. I mean, I was exhausted from, I don't know, the sheer mind-blown factor, the brains leaking out my ears. I needed to squish them back in. So I wonder what it was like for Solicit at the same time. And now they're back into it. They're not in that position where I said earlier where they need to cause surprises. It feels like they are back in a position where they can control the series overall. They can control a game and just take wins from here.
I still feel there will be that pressure, though, to win the next game. 3-1 can be just as difficult at times. Well, I mean, obviously it's not as difficult as the 3-0, but you're still asking for 3 games in a row and what would typically be that reverse sweep. And with the way how Ninjas have been playing overall, minus how they kind of lost that game right there, I feel like you cannot afford that 3-game deficit. So I'm still going to be looking at Solicit to keep what they have building on right now. And I still feel this game number 4 is going to be a must-win for the blue side.
Yeah, you don't want to let Invisible Ninja, the way they've been playing, the way they've been able to attack, get the lead here, or the match point, I should say. That is always going to be a problem for them if they do. But I do think that we'll have the opportunity to see what Solicit are able to bring. And I'm not going to rule them out if they do lose this game, if they also kind of keep it close and play well.
I mean, after everything we've seen tonight, I don't think we can rule out any team to be dead in the water until, you know, the time hits 0 and our champion is crowned, because it just feels like one of those nights. It feels like one of those years, Yummy, realistically, with the results and the way how these games are being played out. So absolutely not going to rule out Solicit, but I still feel those odds are stacked against them as we get ready to jump into game number 4 in just a few moments. I'm kind of curious.
It is a very odd one, right, where you have, I think, some underperforming teams, some overperforming teams, or teams that have risen up as well, but you just don't know where to really fit everyone in, because, yeah, this team might beat Renegades. That was a story at the last year. That's last year's news. Everybody beats the Renegades nowadays, so who cares?
I mean, they're not even top 8.
A couple of weeks ago, we still thought that was a big deal.
Yeah, it's so kind of crazy if you think about, like, how, I mean, realistically, December to January, it's just another month, right? Like, it should be no different than August to September, yet, I don't know, something about 2021 has just completely flipped so many scripts thus far, as out of the gates, it is Solicit trying to establish some attacking pressure. Ball will be held in the corner. Tango, though, puts in the shot, and that's a 1-0 lead for Solicit.
That's just purely based off a challenge as well. He was coming in to prevent the play originally. He was there to stop an infield pass potentially, and that left him in a good position to be able to find that open net. So Solicit getting off to a good start here, and as he said, in a crucial match to win it and get back to a tied series.
And this is actually the first time we've seen Solicit in the lead this series, if you kind of want to play that game. So we finally get to see what they do when they have that 1-goal advantage. Of course, it was the comeback in overtime, how they took our last one. Curious to see if their playstyle will change at all at the moment. It does kind of seem to be, well, a little bit more of a ninja attack at this stage. Haven't really seen Solicit with the ball. Now we see that pass forward, challenged by Leduc. Gets it back to the backboard off the demo. Spido's not in position to punish as Snowy tries to keep it in the corner.
Invisible Ninja haven't really had to bring out the strong offense. They had moments of it in the last game early on before it died down once again. We'll see if they can bring it out, but Leduc has to make diving saves. Solicit keep hitting them in the defense until Walcott gets a very quick aerial to get out.
Snowy, though, fortunately did get enough of that ball to stop that counterattack. It could have been a big breakaway had Walcott just been that little bit faster. Now, ball in Spidos' possession, gets it past Vortex, and with Tango waiting to challenge, the ball will reach the backboard. Tight positioning from the Ninja, yet Tango, with that light touch, does beat the attack out. Now, no boost to work with, still is able to get it all the way into that corner.
Tango has also been playing some ones lately and actually come out towards the top of OCE, and you're actually seeing some of those skills come out. Not just now, but in the past too, with his solo plays. He's having a lot of impact when he has control of the ball. So potential more opportunities for Solicit to get involved, to take control of the game will be those solo plays.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's most seen too in Tango's decision making when he has the possession of the ball, you know, choosing when to challenge, when to slow that pace down, try and manipulate the defense as much as possible. And that's been more on display, I feel like, within the past couple games. Although Walcott has a chance right here off that backboard underneath Spydoge, won't be able to turn into a strike, and by the time Leduc goes for it, the defense had recovered.
That was really, really nicely held out by Solicit. Given the number of demos coming in, they didn't panic, they didn't overcommit to anything, and they still had a player kind of staying back towards that back post, just playing, waiting, patient, and that kept them well in the defense from there against a strong Invisible Ninja attack.
That said, the Ninjas aren't done with this attack. They've been holding the ball on the blue side of the pitch for a while now, but haven't really been able to break these defensive rotations. Another pass out of the corner of Vortex actually had to push forward, and that could have been the challenge that the Ninja needed. Instead, it's going to go the other way. Tango gets it over one. It's bouncing towards the net, but Leduc somehow keeps the ball safe.
Chance here again, but Spydoge has been quick on the ball. He's been the fast one. Walcott we've seen up to the pace at the same time. And usually on the other end, Vortex is the player who plays this fast, and he's got it over one, an air dribble, one end to the other.
Yeah, that was a big play from Vortex right there. Leduc kind of stuck in no man's land, couldn't recover in time. When the way with Tango position as well, even had Leduc made that save, it felt like Solicit was going to score that goal. So great counterattack, great capitalization, and Solicit in position to tie us up, although the kickoffs, still a reoccurring theme. Spydoge unable to finish the play.
That flick was just not good enough. He needed more, he wanted more, and the power was not there for Spydoge. We've been praising for his mechanics, but more so for his aerial mechanics than his ground ones. Leduc! Oh, it's a miracle. It's a miracle. Invisible Ninja hit the crossbar. It goes both ways. Thank you.
I think finally fate and fortunes are turning around. That said, Walcott will still find openings, able to drive that one. A nice 106 off the ground as well. The counterattack brings us back within one.
Yeah, Walcott's always been in a good position, always in that spot, ready to strike. And like an asp there, he was in very quick. 2-1, 1 minute remaining, and the last couple of minutes has been very much Invisible Ninja's game in terms of possession, and maybe even a chance here if Spydoge can get that one on. There's bumps in front of net. Walcott couldn't open up against two players as well. And
with the tight spacing, Leduc is actually put in an awkward spot. This is going to lead to a pretty open-looking net. Snowy misses with the bump. It does not matter. Tango puts it through in a 2-goal cushion with just 41 on the clock.
It still forced the defender to go up early, and it still gave Tango the room to fake him out. And that is good partnership, but also good solo play from Tango.
And it was kind of prompted off of, unfortunately for the Ninjas, getting a little bit too aggressive, too tight spacing, allowed them to be punished, although Spydoge goes for the reset. Not going to find the goal off that kickoff just yet, although defense in awkward positions needs that pass down. It was a bit too high, and they can't turn it into a goal. Initially, Leduc with a chance. Tries to play the corner, gets the second touch to hold it in place, back to the middle. The net looks open. There's a Rule 1 in the back of the net, and still the Ninja can't put it through.
Yeah, it's odd to see two Rule 1s in the same grand final. Bumped out by Walcott. He's not a fan of the Rule 1s, and you know what? Instantly punished.
Yeah, you can't do that. You gotta respect the Rule 1. Solicit, they're gonna add another goal to their total right now. This has been a nice turnaround from the Solicit side, and we're going to have a tied series going into Game 5.
Amazing, amazing, especially because Solicit could have taken Game 1. They really had their opportunity, their day there, and it could have been a 3-1 for them maybe at this point. It's a very interesting matchup, playstyle-wise, between these two teams, where Invisible Ninja have been able to make other teams feel uncomfortable and unable to defend and have been able to bump them out. But Solicit have this playstyle that shut down other people's playstyles, and it doesn't look like Invisible Ninja are able to get into those positions, those very aggressive demoing positions that they like to be in, as often as they'd like.
Yeah, and I think it comes from just like the frequency of those challenges where instead of perhaps looking for those bumps or demos, they're actually trying to react to sort of where these challenges and where the ball is winding up. It almost has Ninjas playing a little bit more reactive, I feel like, than what they would like to play. And it was the same success that we actually saw from Solicit, I feel like, in Game 1. If they hadn't hit the crossbar as many times as they did, they should have won that game, and that's why I was saying before, you know, stick with that playstyle. It seems to be working, and by going back to it, they made game number 4 look quite dominant.
It also kind of reminds me of why the old Renegades worked with those early challenges, those plays that really force the defense into the single-minded mindset that you're always going to be challenged, that there's always somebody on. But the way that it resolves is very different between these two teams. Because the way it's been resolving right now is then they slow it down. Especially Tango will slow it down, fake somebody out as they are expecting that fast play.
Yeah, it definitely is a tough style to wrap your head around if you're trying to defend it. However, we did see how the Ninjas can find success back in those early games, and that really came from when they have those opportunities, being able to capitalize. Case in point, Leduc has a chance here, but this time Tango was able to wrap around and make the save.
And Snowy was also demoing Leduc at the same time, so he had to rush his shot, he had to rush off the ground, which only made it harder to get a strong shot exactly where he wanted it. And Snowy is still chasing people. He just won't let go. He's like a dog chasing a bone, and that bone is the defense of Invisible Ninja at the moment.
Look, I think what Snowy could be thinking is, you know, Game 3, we had a Rule 1, we won that. Game 4, we had a Rule 1, won that one. Just trying to force the issue, perhaps, feeling more confident in the 2v2 at times. Either way, it's not going to be the situation. Ball still in the middle of the field. Vortex does barely beat Spydosh to it, but again, it's just another challenge. Middle of the field, Tango. This time, actually a little bit too quick as Spydosh puts it out the backboard. Open net for Leduc, and it's a 1-0 Ninja lead.
That is what a big challenge does for you. A dunk from Spydoge, reading exactly where Tango was gonna hit it. And Snowy, he wasn't prepared. He didn't think that that dunk was gonna happen. The first goal to Invisible Ninja. But Solicit have made the comeback multiple games.
That they have. I mean, they definitely made the comeback in Game 3. Game 4 was that first one where we saw them with the lead, so if they can channel that Game 3 energy, they might be able to bring this one through. Walcott, nice touch, gets the dunk as well, but not quite on target. And with that much power, it could be a fast counterattack. Snowy beats out Spydosh, but won't get past the second defender.
Now seeing big touches come out from Invisible Ninjas, but no follow-ups, especially with Snowy again hounding every single member of Invisible Ninja. They're now starting to be called invisible just because you can't see them anymore on the pitch. Taken out before their time and made very difficult to score when there's only one person able to tantalize that net.
Yet Leduc was still able to slow that down after the double demo to keep the Ninjas on the attacking half of the pitch, and now they're back. Walcott! That shot had a chance, just a little bit too tight. Now Snowy finally looks to clear it back to the orange side of the field.
Difficult for Walcott, who's also trying to get the height at the same time, as a very difficult angle, because even if he got the angle, it was potentially defended out. Now Spydoge a pass out, but Walcott had crept a little close, not expecting a pass off the wall from Spydoge. Maybe a miscommunication coming out. The demo is still coming from Walcott from all angles, from both sides, from both teams even. And it does make for interesting viewing.
That it does. Oh my goodness, Spydoge almost able to sneak that one through. Tango still goes for that flick, but now we're starting to see, I feel like the Ninjas actually starting to challenge so much more aggressively, so far forward, really pressuring this defense. Yet, credit where it's due right now, Solicit is holding on. They just can't seem to get past that first attacker.
That goal came from a challenge, but not only that, their challenges kind of in that front of net area have been doing wonders, and a large part of that is that they're understanding that Solicit are just trying to get the clear a lot of this time. Almost getting the double read, Snowy. It would have been a very fast double. He's still going to stay in the attack here. Maybe a chance as Vortex comes in, hits the backboard once again, but Invisible Ninja's defense very well rotated and make sure that they hold on. Still a minute to go, but good position here from Invisible Ninja.
Yeah, I feel like Solicit's attack during that phase was just a little bit too slow, so the Ninja were able to keep those rotations, you know, very, very much in pace. As that's a great little play by Leduc. 2-0, big lead in the dying seconds.
A little bit of a whoopsie here from Leduc. He just beats out Tango ever so slightly, and despite not having boost, And despite having to rush to that ball, he still finds the angle on the net.
And with the 2-0 lead, it looks like Game 5 is going to be taking the Ninjas to tournament point. Here in our 4th week, Psyonix going to put another one on target, and that will go through. As if we had any doubts before, it's going to be match and tournament point in favor of this orange side.
Invisible Ninja stepping up in this one and really taking control, but a lot of that is almost playing Solicit's own game against them, shutting down everything Solicit want to do, shutting down every opportunity they can take. One shot on the board for Solicit this game.
And Leduc continues to keep piling on the points for Ninja on the opposite end. As we see this play right here, I mean, does it count as a double touch if you have to use the ground to launch yourself back up again?
No, it's just a backboard.
Just a backboard.
Self-backboard. But it's still nice. It's still good for Leduc to get that one in and give themselves the confidence that they are doing the right thing in this game. I mean, you got to have confidence after keeping your opponents to one shot. It is very hard to score 5 goals to beat Canberra Havoc with only that one shot on the board.
I feel like this game was what you kind of prophesized back in game number 2 on what would happen if Solicit stuck with that playstyle for too long. They used it to take games 3 and 4 back, but at this stage, after losing those 2 games, it feels like Ninja now have been able to adjust their own tempo, their own pace, to get a lot more aggressive with it and really play into those challenges, and they made game 5 look far too easy.
There's going to be a potential question here for Solicit of why didn't they win that game 1? Why didn't they take it? They would be in the commanding position here still, but now all control goes to Invisible Ninja. Not only are they on match point, but they do it completely shutting out Solicit from both ends of the pitch, shutting down the defense, opening it up, and also preventing them from getting it to the other end. We'll see how Solicit managed to adapt here, and maybe they just bring back that snowy demo machine, the snow plow.
Yeah, the snow plow, or even the snow hunter, I feel like, forced the Ducks to migrate in winter, because Leduc with his 7 shots and 3 goals in that last game, and definitely, you know, thorn, splinter, broadsword, whatever you want to call it, he's just been in that side of every sort of team they've come up against, and that proved to be the case again in that 5th one, as off of this kickoff, it once more will be the Ninjas on the attack. Tango tries to play through the corner, Walcott's already there, slows it down, yet Snowy, actually that's the clear they wanted to see. Tango unfortunately couldn't make the read past Leduc.
Leduc is trying to get that one out as we head through game number 6. But the potential winner here for Invisible Ninja, it would be back-to-back first places in tournaments. It would be truly telling of how they sit in OCE that they'd be able to achieve it, not just against the teams that they beat tonight, but also the teams that they beat in RLCS, taking down almost every team in the region at this point. And they even do it really well here, just absolutely taking shot after shot, making sure that no point in time could the defense be comfortable.
That was a strike from Walcott right there. I know Leduc's going to get credit for the goal, but it's the same tight spacing, that same aggressive play style right in front of the net that really Solicit has yet to find the answer for. Although this kickoff looks good, Leduc will be forced to keep it high. So much pressure on Solicit to sort of adapt their own approach right now. They need to find something to stop this attack from the Ninjas, because Leduc is adding on to it once again, a 2-goal lead, and we're only just over a minute in.
It's also getting so awkward for Solicit, where they're worried about the demos coming in, and they're thinking that they have to just commit. It's causing more double commits from coming out. It's causing those openings. It's causing that counter-attack goal to happen. 2 goals in the lead. A third would put Invisible Ninja in the absolute driver's seat, even though 2 goals is mostly enough in the past, but proven wrong in this series in game number 3.
Exactly. Game 3 kind of proved otherwise, although it did require an overtime. First things first, Solicit needs to get at least 1 goal on the board. It feels like ages since they've been able to do so after getting shut out back in Game 5. They need to get something going, and it feels like since Game 5, they've just sort of been playing on their own side of the field, or really since Game 4, I should be saying. And now another potential breakaway. Snowy does avoid the block and makes the save.
There's another one of those situations where Invisible Ninja have demoed somebody as they're in defense, and that means that they spawn back in time. But Leduc, very, very sneaky, sneaks this one into the top left corner.
Yep, biding his time, going for the backflip just to make sure everything is timed perfectly before pressing forward and striking. Now is that 3-goal lead that is at times insurmountable. We need to see Solicit really come alive right now because the clock, the odds, everything's against them except for that shot from Vortex. They're right back in it.
Straight off the kickoff, giving themselves an opportunity here. And Walcott was there, but he'd already gone for an early dive and was too low to be able to make the save, so it bounces off him. And back to a 2-goal game. All eyes on Solicit to see if they can bring it back.
And I'm kind of looking for Snowy to continue to be sort of the play initiator. Maybe not necessarily the striker that you'll see from Tango or Vortex, but I'm looking for Snowy to create those openings, get some of those demos that we saw before. We know this team can finish, but sometimes they need that little bit of help. At the moment, however, it is Ninjas pushing forward. Leduc misses his bump, and Tango was there for the save. Now tries to drive it the other way, but Leduc from behind will bump. It's a pinch attempt, just a little bit wide of the mark.
It was very difficult to get that pinch on target, given the angles that those players had to come in, and given Leduc was so close to that ball as well. So, not expected to be a goal, but it could have finished up in the net after a follow-up. That one was actually on target. Tango has to make the save. More of that invisible ninja, almost luck factor of having 50s go towards that net. It's, at least they haven't been sinking in. Solicit have been holding on the defense strong enough to keep in the game.
Keep in the game, but not take it back over. And with just under 2 minutes remaining, they still need to find that extra edge to their attack. It feels like every time they get on that orange side, it has been back to the Ninja quick clears, quickly throwing it back the other way. And as a result, they haven't seen anything sustained from Solicit just yet. Another big clear, this time from Leduc, and it's looking so similar to what we saw from that semifinals.
Spy Doge, maybe looking to get this one into center. Desperation now has to settle in for Solicit. They have to look for these goals, and they may have one here, but Snowy's shot not exactly where he wanted it.
It goes straight to Leduc, who could put that in the corner and really kill that momentum fast. Ball still on that orange side of the field. Solicit still looking for that opening. Walcott, not a lot of boost to work with. It's a meatball. Spydoge gets there a little late. Vortex almost gets the challenge that could have brought us back within one.
He's still beating out one Leduc, but Tango trying to work something out, but his solo plays don't work against three. And that is Leduc getting a counterattack. They've shut down the attack once again from Solicit.
Yeah, they've shut it down, and now Walcott tries to end it, yet Vortex is there for the save. 40 seconds still to play. Spydoge with boost to work with, gets it past Tango. Can't quite get the pinch off the roof. Instead, Vortex from underneath, desperate to get back to that orange side of the field, yet Spydoge from behind will take it away from him.
Good touches from Vortex have not been enough. Invisible Ninjas, their defense have been on form. They've been able to hold over and over again and even get to the other end, but still not score. 20 seconds left here for Solicit.
I think time is finally starting to run out. Tango gets the demo. Snowy, 2 defenders to beat, puts it on target, but Walcott is there. 7 seconds left in play. It's not going to happen for Solicit. And for the second event in a row, the attack of the Invisible Ninja will get themselves the victory.
They make it for the first time in the RLO Masters as well. Their first true victory. Surmounting everybody, surmounting Ground Zero, surmounting Direwolves twice now, and also taking down Solicit and Cringe Society today. They have proven their point, and now heading towards that major, you gotta really worry our Invisible Ninja, the force that are gonna take down everybody once again.
I mean, they are definitely setting themselves up as that #1 team to beat, it feels like. Momentum is going to be in their favor. Now, it wasn't necessarily that perfect run. Ground Zero did get the better of them during the group stages, so you still have that question up in the air. Can they take down Ground Zero, you know, sort of again? But as it stands, back-to-back tournament victories, you cannot take that away from this team.
The promising sign in that Ground Zero match was that games 3 and 4, they were in the lead and kind of had situations where they let the goals in the last few seconds. against Ground Zero, but that was a very close series. There were 2 overtimes that Invisible Ninja won in the first place. There was another overtime throughout the series, so very, very close, at least, with Ground Zero fighting for that top spot. Solicit now have caused a big upset over the top of Ground Zero too, and in fact, let's have a look at tonight's bracket just to really sum it all up. The Solicit win, a big one. The Cringe Society win over Mind Freak, very impactful. Invisible Ninja once again taking down Direwolves, this time in a 3-0. Getting Cringe Society afterwards, a team that they hadn't really had good success against, and now taking down Solicit just to get the icing on the cake. They don't care about the win over Solicit specifically, they care about getting that win.
Absolutely, and there's even stories that kind of are hinted at in this bracket as well. Team Process getting to yet another quarterfinals, knocking themselves in the top 8, specifically doing it over the likes of the Renegades, who are now, again, if we can get the score, I don't know if we can get the score update, but they're now sitting safely in. But Mind Freak in that 3-way tie, you've got Forbidden in that 3-way tie, and you've got Renegades all in a 3-way tie with 1 spot available. 2 of those teams not going to be there. As here we can take a look at our sort of updated standings, and yeah, Mind Freak, Renegades, Forbidden, all at 340. Only one of them makes it on Tuesday.
That is an interesting tale. You're not really expecting Mind Freak or Renegades to not make it, but Mind Freak have an excuse. They've been playing with Lethal for 2 out of the 4 weeks, and even for the beginning of this week. What's Renegade's excuse? You know, that's the real teaser there, and if they don't make the top 8, then that is real trouble for that team heading towards the major. Over on the top 8 that have been secured, Ground Zero did get first place, especially with Direwolves coming in that 5th to 8th place this week, even though Ground Zero were 1 point ahead of Direwolves before that. Solicit were always confirmed 3rd place once they made it to the grand final. And Invisible Ninjas and Cringe Society, once they got to the grand final, were definitely going to play against each other, but it's funny that they end up being just 1 point ahead of Cringe.
Yeah, that is, I mean, that's that 1 point that you get from winning a tournament, right? So they are in a sense rewarded in terms of placing, and I guess that bragging rights, but still a very interesting bracket for next Tuesday. There's going to be some fun matches to kick things off, but not typically what you would expect to see. That we have the potential of a Ground Zero Renegades or a Ground Zero Mind Freak sort of game number 1 in that winner's quarter, and that's typically something you'd see maybe in the semifinals or even a grand final type situation.
Well, OCE is completely blown wide open, and it couldn't be possible without the RLO Masters to really understand the full gravity of the situation, the full matchups, why it's going so crazy in RLCS. I mean, it's hardly determined even in the RLO Masters, but that means we have to give a shout out to RLO and to Psyonix for sponsoring the event and making it possible for us to see events like this. Make sure, guys, by the way, thank you all for tuning in tonight, all you lovely Twitch viewers, but the big one, the big show is next Tuesday, so make sure you're here for Tuesday for the monthly final. Max, any last thoughts about tonight before we go to that big event?
One thing I would like to say is, again, a quick thank you for those who tuned in, and I'm just going to recommend something, because this person started streaming, and I want everyone to follow his stream. Keep your eyes open. Dover streams now.
Oh, all right. You were going to say me. Oh.
Everyone knows you stream.
I'm so disappointed.
No, it's Dover who's streaming now, so I want everyone to jump in and follow his stream, all right? I think that's important, because you talk about it a lot as well. He does so much work behind the scenes. He needs that OCE love.
Yeah, bit of love. Head over to Dover's channel. He'll spam it in the chat. You know the kind of guy he is. Always self-promoting. But thank you all for coming along. Absolute pleasure casting alongside you, Max, as well. And a pleasure working with RLO all the time. And look forward to seeing you guys on Tuesday. Stay safe this weekend. Have a great end of the week. And we'll see you very soon.